Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading, and thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Man, check this out. On this episode, what we're going to talk about is some comments. We're going to talk about one of the greatest basketball players to ever put on a pair of basketball shorts and dribble a ball on a basketball court, one Mr. LeBron James. He recently made some comments, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to kind of break it down, and I want to get a super fan's perspective, and I'm a fan of the game. I love watching the NBA. As you all know, you guys have seen and heard me talk about it, but I won't be doing this show alone. On this episode, my brother Baylor is back in the building. BTG for President and Open Run with BTG are his podcast. Baylor, what's up, man?
Ballerina doing heroines inside of my snow globe. You had to see it.
You had to see it.
You had to see it.
Shout out to the clips. Yeah. What's good, man?
Hey, man, Lady Gaga is across the street, so it's a lot of ruckus right now. You know what I mean? But other than that, this is one of the best times. This is another Christmas Eve for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's
football season is upon us.
College football season at that. Oh, you gotta love it. Smelling that grass on opening day. Do you understand?
Listen, to be where we are, and I tell people all the time, like college football, football season in the South is just different, right?
Yeah.
It is totally different. It is a totally different culture. And, we just finished the basketball season and, quiet as kept, the new NBA season will be starting probably sooner than we think. So I got you on, man, just because, one, you're a basketball head like me, grew up playing basketball, played in high school. I didn't, but you did. And you're a big fan, super fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. You are from LA, East Side.
Yeah.
And if those of you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. You see, you got the Kobe shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
You see it. So yeah, I wanted to get you on because obviously, like I said, you're a Lakers fan. And LeBron James, again,
LeBron
James, one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. Recently made some comments about ring culture. You guys see the title of this episode, Ring the Alarm. And I felt that was, very significant to name the topic this because it was alarming to me that, the statement that LeBron made, and I'll get into it in just a second. But, obviously, if you follow sports, more particularly if you follow the NBA, there's always been, at least for the better part of the last, 10, 15, 20 years, there's been discussions about ring culture. And so LeBron was on a podcast. I'm not sure if it was his. I'm assuming it was his podcast because he's got a podcast that he does with Steve
JJ.
Nash.
JJ.
Was it? No, it is Steve Nash. It was JJ.
It was JJ, but I think that was with Steve Nash though. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he talked about ring culture, and he had this to say, and I'll quote it. Quote, I don't know the answer. When he was asked about the origin of the ring culture in basketball, perceived obsession with it. He said, quote, I wish I had an answer to this, but I'm not sure. Man, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the end all be all of everything. Close quote. Now, that really kind of sounds tame on the surface, but it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I'll read you some of the comments from some of the talking heads, if you will. Skip Bayless had this to say on Twitter. LeBron scoffs at ring culture, saying rings are merely team achievements shouldn't be weighted as heavily as individual career assessment, and tries to unmake MJ's GOAT case, discounting 6-0 in the finals versus LeBron's 4-6 in the finals. Nice try. And he put in quotes, king. Colin Cowherd from Fox, The Herd, said, you think LeBron went to Miami to lay on the beach? And he thinks that, LeBron's argument that ring culture rings hollow. Let's see. Rob Parker had this to say. If LeBron had 8 or 10 rings, you think he'd be talking about people counting rings? Of course he wouldn't. He's such a phony. Let's read one more here. First take, Stephen A. Smith.
Boy.
Quote, if winning a championship didn't mean so much, why were you so relieved to finally have one? Why did you depart Cleveland to go to Miami? He said that LeBron's discussion about ring culture is nonsense. So I said all that to say this. It's obviously been a topic. Where do you land on what LeBron had to say, Baylor, as far as ring culture and how we put a lot of emphasis on it or don't put any emphasis on it?
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. And then he kept going, knowing damn well you not to bring 8 titles to Miami. But you said it, And why all of a sudden? Because that window was closing. And you yourself possibly feel underachieved, seeing that your nemesis over there in Golden State probably had a much better career outside of the all-time scoring. You got to answer to him. And then that's not even getting to, the Mamba and the Black Cat. You know what I'm saying? When those are the 2 goals, no matter what it is. It used to just be one, and Kobe was the nemesis at the time. And true. You failed to get to the finals by losing to Orlando. You know what I mean? So everybody was chasing MJ. And you just happened to start chasing Kobe because you ended up playing with the Lakers. And knowing that you would, if you was to give us 2 to 3 rings, which it looks very slim from here. If you was to get one, I wouldn't necessarily call it a miracle, but it damn near be close to it. You are going to be ranked as a top 3 player that has underachieved. Ring wise. And that's what it is. You went to Miami for the rings to begin with because you knew you can't be mentioned in the same categories with those particular greats. Not just the greats in general. There's a lot of greats around the league that's still in the league. But you won't be able to be mentioned with the Kobe's and the Jordans if you don't have a single ring. Hell, even KD went to Golden State. You see what I'm saying? Like, cats made certain moves and tried to cover it up by saying, nah, it's time for a new location. Or, I don't get this coaching philosophy. They're not getting the pieces that I wanted. No, everything was a business transaction. Everything. And it just so happened to fall that way. You came out here to do what you had to do, and we already know it was more of a, let me get an opportunity to run a couple of businesses in the entertainment industry while I'm out here. I'm going to have to do my part by getting y'all a ring for sure, because you can't come to LA and not do anything.
Right.
That's crazy. Okay. What you did to Cleveland, that was literally for the city. That was for them. But Miami, that was to get you to the room. Not necessarily to the table, but to the room. Winning for the Cavs got you to the table because of what you did. You went back the second time and brought Cleveland a championship. So that means it carries a whole lot. It's not just winning the championship, but it's what that championship meant at the time. Kobe 2 championships probably mean way more than those 3 that he won with Shaq, because he won them without Shaq. And he beat the Celtics in one of those. So that's what it means a lot. Just like, hey, when the Celtics beat us, I'm pretty sure that Celtic team is way different.
Right.
Is a different way to it. So you can't sit up there and go on TV and say, nah, in my show. I told 12 Cal, a lot of rappers, a lot of artists are being compared to ball players, vice versa. And the common one has been Drake and LeBron James. Ironically, they not getting along anymore, but that has been a comparison with the two. You saying this about ring culture is the same thing Drake is saying about how hip hop is weird now.
Wow.
Just because you're losing now is weird now. Just because the window is closing, oh, rings don't really matter that much. It's already bad enough that the niggas that played in the finals but couldn't win or have been getting swept out of the playoffs or disappearing in the playoffs are saying, I'd rather take this 300 over a ring.
Right.
So now it's just about your brand and the money now. No passion for the game. Well, that will bring down the quality of your rings. Cause now you're telling me you played against a lot of cats that wasn't playing for the ring. They was playing for the money.
Wow.
So you are actually hurting your chances of being called the greatest. Because if they ask Jordan, you first of all, you don't even ask Jordan a dumbass question like that. You will ask a Kobe or whatever because he's the second coming of Jordan. But guess what? He's gonna give you one of the coldest. He gonna look at you like you stupid. There's a thing called the Kobe death stare. He gonna look at you like you stupid. This is the same man who will play through a banged up, dislocated shoulder. He'll go to the corner of the goddamn court and have one of the assistants or the trainers pop his finger back into place. And I'm going out there. Oh, I tore something and I'm gonna be out for a while. Let me shoot these free throws before I go. Totally different mindset. So for you to say that, for you to say, "Oh, hip hop is weird right now," that means that's just being a sore loser. You know, at this point that scoring title. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it maybe 20 years from now. And like, all right, we know he still got it. And we was all there when you broke the record. I
Right.
remember watching. I was in Bel Air watching the game, and it was magical. I was very emotional. I got to see history. I'm just as old, or I'm just as old, or maybe even older than the goddamn record itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
that says a lot, man. I think you first and foremost, you make some great points. Here's the thing. LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players to ever play basketball. Where you rank him really doesn't matter to me. It's not even worth debating, right? That being said, I think the bigger question is based off of what he said is, and I'll throw this to you. If he finishes his illustrious career with just 4 rings, and I want to say just, but if he finishes his career with 4 rings, did he do enough?
I even think his fan base know he didn't do enough ring wise. It's our fault. It's our fault, but I'm not gonna sit up here and excuse the Kobe's and the MJs of the world. They cared about those rings. They did. You know they did. You know
Of
what I'm
course.
saying? You know who else cares about the rings that he didn't win? Jerry West. He's somewhere pissed
Facts.
off that
Big
he only
facts.
got one. But look how many times he's been there though. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot sit up here and give me that it doesn't matter. No, it's not enough. We know it's not enough because if y'all know as Jordan fans that it's not enough because he will still have to win an additional 2, and that's still going to be debatable because one of the things that he's never done is not playing a game 7. Is not losing the finals.
Never happened.
He's lost in the finals.
Yeah.
He's had game 7s. So it's like you already have that strike against you to begin with, but you can't even have a fair argument when it's 6-0 versus if you do get 6, you got so many potholes in between there. And them Jordan fans is gonna pick that shit apart.
Oh,
And
always.
the thing with Kobe, the Kobe fans ain't even going to go to the stats. They're not going the numbers route. They gonna say, bro, you ain't even got the same mindset as our guy.
And I think that's what makes it that much tougher for LeBron. I'm going to read something else that he said in this on that episode. Quote, it's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room as Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes because he only has 2 rings, or telling me that Dan Marino isn't the greatest slinger of all time and he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things. Did Barry Bonds win a World Series? I don't think so. You can't sit here and tell me that he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat. I just don't understand where it came from. I don't understand where it started. I just hope we can appreciate more what guys have been able to accomplish. Close quote. What do you make of that?
I'm taking Rod Strickland over Tony Parker. That's what I think of that. It's Dan Marino. Dan Marino's one of the coldest quarterbacks.
One of my favorite quarterbacks
known to mankind, but he never won a ring. That still doesn't take away from, and it's a different type of sport. I get it. You know what I mean? Football, that's kind of different. But when you talk about Mr. Omaha, Mr. Omaha, and here's the crazy part: Brady can't talk crazy to the Manning's family at all, because you probably bullied my older brother. But
the little brother got him.
The little brother got you twice.
Twice.
Kept
you from getting 9.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird, what's wild is that one that really hurts Brady the most is the one where the Giants beat him and they didn't go undefeated. I mean, like, Tom Brady's in a whole nother stratosphere if he wins a ring after going undefeated.
Yeah,
because you got to remember, they beat the Giants in week 17 or week 16, the last game of the season, during that season. So that was a rematch in the Super Bowl. And for Eli to play the way that he did and to, upstage and beat Tom Brady and give them their only loss of the season.
Little brother played with so much. If y'all don't understand, if you rank those 3 quarterbacks right now, they're going to have Brady number 1, they're going to have Peyton number 2, and then they're going to have a crazy drop with Eli Manning.
No question.
At number 3. But the thing is, you cannot say nothing to that man because he took that nigga down twice. And that Patriots defense ain't no chumps.
No.
They know, and even if you want to call them mediocre or just above average, them niggas show up in the big games. So they elite on that field, brother.
That's all that you need to do is show up. I think I get where LeBron is trying to go. I just think, like, what he's trying to say, he missed the point because he's talking about all of these other factors. I mean, like, yeah, we all know Brady and Mahomes and those guys are just phenomenal players. And again, I think LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players to ever play. So I don't know that. I mean, like, I'm not calling him a bum, but I think when you've made those statements, and here again, to your point, Baylor, what we started off with, if you come out saying we're not going to win 4, not 4, but 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, you set the bar so high. And then I remember him saying, and almost putting himself into a corner by saying, I'm chasing the GOAT. He said that. Like, he was chasing that in that aspect. So now I want to flip it on you, Baylor, because as many of you guys know, Baylor's a diehard Laker fan, born and raised in LA. So when you look at LeBron's tenure in LA, and you and I have talked about it both on and off air, as at the time of this recording, we know that, or at least we're assuming that when the season tips off in a few months, he's going to be in the purple and gold. What we don't know is what's going to happen beyond this upcoming basketball season. At the time of this recording, he's under contract for another year. There's speculation that the Lakers aren't catering to him. They seem to have shifted their focus to a young and more fit Luka Doncic. who is on a hell of a press run right now, but that's another story for another day. I haven't seen a press run like this since the Clips. But that's beside the point. My point is that right now it looks like they are slowly but surely pushing LeBron out of the way, which is crazy to think about because teams have always catered to him, his needs, whatever he wanted to do as far as free agents were concerned, personnel decisions, that was on LeBron. And it appears that with this new ownership group with the Lakers and again, Luka coming in, even the team that they're building, it appears to be a team that is more fit to Luka's style of basketball. We saw LeBron and Luka play pretty well together, down the stretch and into the playoffs, but it was a small sample size. So this year we're going to get a chance to see a full, hopefully 82 games of that. So my question to you is, as a Lakers fan, has LeBron, when it comes to rings, he's delivered one. You mentioned earlier, you're not sure if he's going to deliver two. Let's just say he's just delivered one, and let's say this is the end of the year, end of the season for him, and this is his last year in LA. Are you feeling nostalgic for the golden eras of rap and soul music? If so, tune in to the Rap Soul Podcast. We are your weekly journey through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, spotlighting the music and the hidden gems that shaped the soundtrack of our lives. From the powerful beats to the soulful melodies, we bring you the best of the past with fresh insights and stories. Rediscover the music that defined a generation. Subscribe to the Rap Soul Podcast and enjoy the vibes. If you want a podcast where culture, conversation, and life collide, where you get insightful commentary, engaging discussions, and a fresh perspective on everything, then you need to listen to the 12 Kyle podcast. Hosted by the one and only, yours truly, 12 Kyle, a voice that you know and trust. This podcast will bring you thought-provoking moments, compelling stories, and a whole lot of fun. Whether you're a first-time listener or just tuning in, each episode promises to be something new and exciting. So sit back, relax, join 12 Kyle, myself, and my guests as we break down the world around us and give you stories that you've never heard before, from nostalgic throwbacks to everything in between. The 12 Kyle podcast is a front row seat to this conversation. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of the 12 Kyle podcast, where the vibe is always real and the discussion is always worth your time. Did he do enough as a Laker?
No, he didn't. We know he didn't do enough. Not Laker standards. He may have added on to his legacy, his personal player legacy. Mm-hmm. But as far as a Laker legacy, he's probably and I'm being extremely nice about this, he's done enough to get his jersey on the wall. Okay. It's going to come with a lot of attitude from us. I'm telling you, he got, because see, you got Laker fans, and then you got the Laker fans that accept him and that also are fans of his, and then you got the Bron fans that came over here.
Yeah.
Niggas that still got Cleveland Cavalier jerseys in their closet, the Miami Heat jerseys in their closet and stuff like that. They got both jerseys. They got number 6 and number 23 for the Cavs. So it's one of those things where you got them and they gonna say it's perfectly fine. No, you Cleveland LeBron fans, y'all niggas don't know about standards. Y'all leave that alone, okay? Mm-hmm. Miami Heat, we never had any type of tension or beef. The only thing that we shared as relatable is the weather, okay? And maybe the women, different.
Right.
But outside of that, our winning culture is different from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay over there with that Bron shit. And to me, that was the best Bron of all time.
Oh, no question.
Miami Heat Bron was Jesus Christ, mercenary. But no, he didn't do enough to Lakers standards. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people said he may have, bought some time by winning a scoring title in a Lakers jersey. That's cool. Because he made it unreachable. That's cool. Mm-hmm. I get that. But that's not a ring. That's a personal win for you. You know what I mean?
And that's something we knew was going to happen in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah. But as far as what we stand for and what we expect you to do because of expectations, you're arguably a top 3 player of all time. And I'm selfishly putting Kobe right there because I believe he deserves to be in the conversation no matter what. But at the same time, if y'all just want to leave those two alone, and we know he don't come close to MJ, you are still one of the greatest athletes of all time. And at this point, it's like we've all felt like our team was being held hostage anyway by Clutch. You know what I'm saying? So we've been said it's time for us to part ways. Not even on disrespectful stuff, but it's like at this point, the business contract wasn't fulfilled. Let's move on from it. And I believe a lot of this, a lot of this subliminal shit that he got going on in the offseason, I think is due to the new ownership. You know, the ownership got 2 championships, 2 different sports.
Yeah.
They ready to win some shit. And I believe they pushing shit out the door, and Jeannie is not gonna leave so fast without seeing another championship before she enjoy that 10 bill. You know what I'm saying? So if it comes to, there's nothing when it comes. I just happen to be a part of 2 franchises where there's nothing bigger than the logo. You know, when it comes to the Raiders, you're not bigger than that. Right. And we've made that mistake. We've made mistakes making the shield bigger than certain players. Now we starting to change that. But when it comes to the Lakers, no. Don't play this game. You got to play well enough what you're playing for is to play to be our family. You know what I mean? But this has always been a business transaction.
Yeah.
Kobe family. Magic, that's family. Like they were really, we looked at them as the cool uncle or the brother or the cousin. We watched them, you know what I'm saying? They hold for me, Magic, tail end of his career. I was too young to understand his career in the 80s, but I watched him you know what I'm saying? And it's the Byron Scotts, the Coopers, all of them is like that's family, even all the way to Caruso. You know what I'm saying? We treat them like Caruso. His first year when we brought him up from the South Bay Lakers, I'm talking about after that dunk that stunned the world and LeBron.
Right.
When before he won a championship with us, he had a mural out here.
Wow.
Because we represent and we love certain players. That's just how he is. You know, you're not gonna go too far without seeing like Mike Piazza jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain cats that play sports out here that we will always have a high level of respect for, even if they end up being a pitcher for the Yankees, but they from out here. That's just what it is. You know, they always, whatever is California, we gonna claim them and they gonna be family. Reggie Bush, President Bush, Matt Leinart, Lindell White, and I'm a UCLA fan. So it's like you have to put in a certain amount of work. You got to be in a certain amount of battles in order to be considered family, and you have to do enough because it's a lot when those Lakers standards. It's a lot, and the bar was set by the OGs, and it was carried on. And it was carried on later. It went from Showtime to the Shaq and Kobe era. And it was the same expectations, win the championship. We're not going to win it the same. We're not going to be running fast breaks and it's going to be like a fucking show in there. It's going to be a different type of half-court show that we're going to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, and we just didn't get that because why? We never accepted him as a family member. We accepted him as...
Okay, so, and that's a great segue because that's where I want to go as we wrap up. The family.
Yeah.
You guys, Lakers, I tell people all the time, I started watching basketball. I started watching the NBA in 1980. That coincided with Magic Johnson's rookie season. So that's that's the NBA that I've known and grown up with. Like I said, I wasn't a fan, but I could appreciate, what I saw on TV with Showtime Lakers. You saw Magic. Like you said, you were younger. You're younger than me, so you saw Magic. You remember Magic toward the tail end of his career. You obviously remember him retiring and then coming back. You remember Magic as a coach. You remember Magic as a businessman. You remember Magic as a businessman and what he's done over the last, 30 plus years, right? In 1996, you draft Kobe Bean Bryant. You trade for Kobe.
And he sit down for a cool minute too.
Yeah. Kobe didn't come in and
he sit on that. He sat on that bitch, bro. Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones.
listen.
What?
The Lakers had. That's the thing I tell people all the time. The Lakers had 4 All-Stars when Kobe got there. So it wasn't like he was coming to a situation where they would give him the ball and just say, "Hey, go do your thing." That wasn't the case at all. But you watch Kobe grow into the player that he became. You saw him win 3 titles with Shaq. You saw Shaq leave. You saw him go through the whole Colorado thing. You saw him grow as a man, as a father, as a husband, become the Black Mamba, win 2 more titles without Shaq. You tragically saw Kobe leave us, right?
Yeah.
Could LeBron? I don't know if LeBron could ever win y'all over. Like it's what would it have taken for LeBron to have won y'all over? Because like you said, there, if we're being honest, there's a Kobe faction. Shout out to Manny Brown, and then there's Laker fans, and then there's LeBron fans who've come over to Laker Nation. And if LeBron goes and plays for Sacramento next year, they're going to go and jump off the bandwagon, and they're going over there too as well. And that's just what it is. Yeah. But could you said he hasn't done enough, but was he not fighting up an uphill battle because those size, whatever size shoe Kobe wore, you can't fill those shoes. And then given the fact that Kobe's no longer here, makes it even more insurmountable for him. What do you say to that as far as LeBron trying to live up to I can't even say the standard that Kobe set?
It's not even the standard that Kobe just said. It's a standard that a lot of greats set individually. We seen MJ dominate, and we never seen any goofy shit in none of his press runs. None of that. None of his interviews came off corny.
Right.
When it came to Kobe, after a loss, it wasn't no he and ha in his ass. You know what I'm saying? To the point where we used to get mad because he did do too much. Pass the ball Kobe is a thing. Everybody has said that. Snoop is famous for saying it. You know what I'm saying? Pass the ball Kobe is a real thing. But at the time, we just didn't understand, no pun, but his mentality. Like there's no question in the world he's taking that shot, whatever that shot is. We never questioned Jordan if he was going to take that shot or not. And then when he did pass up the shot, not even passing up because the play was actually drawn up for another person to shoot it, that's part of his leadership. We never questioned Michael Jordan if he was going to shoot it or not. We was more frightened if that nigga was going to make it. We knew where the ball was going. But we never seen none of that goofy shit. It's more about the character too, 12 Cal. It's what you display. We didn't caught you in there's a TikTok and an IG video of him just lying for no reason. For no reason, about reading books, about a movie he's seen, his favorite scene in a movie, just unnecessary lies. And it's just, we look at your character. Kobe was attacked majority of his career because he came off arrogant. Until we realized, no, the nigga was more focused than any athlete we've ever seen in our lives. He took this shit personally. Blood, sweat, and tears. He hurt himself. He damn near ended his career on the court. You know what I'm saying? And was able to come back from that and leave one of the most historical leaving the games of all time. You know what I mean? Like, he's giving back to the sport. And then we seen him transition from a bench player who was eager to get out there, to eager to show his skills, to being teammates with Shaq and going and having a different work ethic than him and trying to push the big man, to them forcing big man up out of there, giving the keys to Kobe, and then him bringing additional titles or whatever, still played with some terrible squads after that, but still maintained his sanity through the whole thing, tore his shit up, came back, had a tour, transitioned into 100% everyday father, slash coach. Now we just see a whole totally different Kobe. Like we've seen a progression of his majority of his life. Wasn't no corny shit. The only thing that he got knocked for, like 12 Cal said, was the Colorado shit, which was outside of his character. That's the only thing that you could question about him is that he stepped outside of his marriage and he was humiliated in front of the whole world. And he stood on that and still came back and did what he had to do. We never seen Jordan do any coin. All the stories we hear about Jordan is pure horror stories. Is that once he locked in on something, once the nigga will make up something to be pissed off. You don't even have to piss off MJ. He's just going to make up something to give him a reason to go to a level that you cannot get to. So we've seen that. You are inspired. You're influenced by players. I like Barry Sanders. I've never seen a running back, maybe outside of Reggie Bush and Gale Sayers. I've never seen a shifty running back like that. You will want to be a running back. When you create a running back on the video game, you're going to create it closer to the Reggie Bush, Barry Sanders side of things. Shifty and shit like that is elusive. Influence. This nigga Bron, bro. and he did a lot for the game. He did a lot for the game, but he just didn't do enough to ever win over the Lakers. The fan base, he just didn't. Because we don't see it. We don't believe you. Yeah. No, we just never believed him. We just never believed him. That was it. That's not just saying that we don't respect his game or we don't respect his his journey, but you got chosen one tatted on your back.
Mm-hmm.
And you put it in and you turning down the ring culture versus like how you acting off the court, like it's all weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Jordan never had to deal with social media. Kobe, for the most part, didn't really have to deal with social media, although he was a part of the era at some point, but he never fell victim to it. Your ass is going to the playoffs, having a couple of bad games before the playoffs started, talking about, I'm turning my Twitter off. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I remember
him doing it.
Can you see MJ going on Twitter? I gotta lock in. Never. You'll never see MJ talking. I'm about to lock in. I'll see y'all after June. Jordan and Tupac in a social media era, nigga, I'll pay money to see that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'll pay money to see those two
crazy.
on Twitter.
It is crazy. It's great. You make some great points, man. I think Kobe casts a huge shadow, and LeBron casts a huge shadow as well. I think ultimately LeBron and LeBron, this is free game for you if you're watching, because I know you're going to be watching. The thing that I will leave you with, LeBron, if you're watching, is you can't really worry about ring culture because one, you have 4 rings. So like it's an honor and a privilege to get 4 rings. I don't want to dismiss that at all, because ask Charles Barkley how many of his limbs he would cut off for 4 rings. Ask Allen Iverson how many rings he'd like to have in his.
Chuck probably just won't. And when I say Chuck, I'm saying both Chucks.
Bubba Chuck, right?
But
both Chucks, yeah.
Yeah, both of them would just want at least 1 ring.
At least one, and they played for him and just didn't do it. So if LeBron, if you're watching, the thing I would say is you're not going to win that battle as far as ring culture is concerned because of the statements that you've made in the past. And the thing about, like you said, Baylor said about, social media, all of that stuff is documented. So anytime that you try to dismiss it, and you're right, it should be about what you do on the court. It shouldn't be about rings, because listen, there's only one there's only one team that's going to win a ring each year. That's the way the game goes.
That's a fact.
And it doesn't matter what. Yeah, it doesn't matter what sport that you're in. There's only going to be one winner each year. And so, I don't think that LeBron is going to win another title before he retires. And if he does, I don't think that, he still has a storied career. Again, he's still one of the greatest ever. Some people think he's the greatest. That's great. But I think, you can't change the narrative. And I think when he goes online and he makes statements like this, it doesn't help his case because there are people who remember the things that he said and the things that he's done. And they're just, as soon as you mention something like that, they're just going to hold up a mirror and say, hey, we got receipts. We got the receipts right here. So Baylor, what do you have to say, LeBron, as we sign off? If LeBron is watching, what do you have to leave for LeBron?
I appreciate you, Bron. Everything you've done for the game, brother. Even though you skipped the dunk contest, like nigga, there's another thing, huh, bro? You cannot duck. The greats have done the dunk contest, and you don't have to win. You ain't gotta win, but you gotta be there. You gotta be there, man. And you don't even participate in the 3-point contest, the skill challenge, nothing. Do something. Do something. No, but at the end of the day, look, we respect what you did in the game, man. And here's the killer part. When it come to MJ, Kobe, LeBron, they all wherever they stopped at, they could have won more.
Right.
Mike could have had 8 or 9. Kobe could have had 8 or 9. Bron definitely look how many times he's been to the finals.
Yeah.
It's easy to shit on, and I'm one of them. You lost the gang of finals, brother, but he got there.
But he got there, and that's saying something. I mean, like I told people when Shaq left, I was like, if Kobe and Shaq stayed together, I think they win 9, 10 championships, hands down. Because I don't think anybody's stopping them. If Jordan doesn't go to play baseball, I think he probably wins 7 or 8. You just never know. But I think it's LeBron. I think if you're watching LeBron, I don't think you should try to change the narrative because the narrative at this point it is already set.
Yeah, it's already set.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for us. Before we get out of here, Baylor, man, tell folks where they can find you, where they can find the podcast.
Hey man, shout out to Eric Crouch. We ain't forget what you did, brother. We ain't forget what you did. We know what the Rams did to your career, okay? Shout out to Eric Crouch. I know what you did in college, brother. All right. At Baylor the Great on I think IG, and then TikTok and Twitter is at Baylorism. The merch is for sale. It's just not for sale right now. If that makes sense. I make shirts. I sell shirts. I just have a hard time letting y'all know when I'm selling them. But you buy one, it's a collector's item, it's vintage. My shirts has been worn and bought across the world. I got shirts in Ghana, god damn it. So we outside. And I got more. I promise this season I will have a working website with shirts on there for sale. I love y'all. Be patient and Godspeed.
For sure. And y'all know, I mean, he's made some shirts for me as well as hoodies. So, now the South Carolina State stuff, y'all got to come through me first because.
Wait, and look, I got something in the I got something in this pot back here.
Okay.
That got some South Carolina State seasoning that's cooking up football. Oh, you said what? Football season on the way? Oh, well, the merch is too.
I'm definitely gonna need some for homecoming. I already know it's gonna be hot, so I gotta. When I hit the campus, I gotta be fly. When I get on the yard, so you already know.
And you gotta have that exclusive, that one of one. Nobody else got it. Nobody else. In Germ, ain't nobody bringing it. Jeremy, ain't nobody talking about Emmitt Smith. Nobody care about Emmitt Smith. Stop trying to bring him off. Get him out of here.
That's what I want. I want the one of one because I don't want when I step on the yard, I don't want nobody with nothing that I got on. Yeah, I want them to say, "Hey man, where'd you get that from?" Oh, no, my brother, you got to get your own.
You got to get your own.
Well, you guys know where to find me. I'm on YouTube. I'm on all DSP's 12 Kyle podcast. New episodes every Thursday, every Sunday. Check out the Rap Soul podcast where we talk about rap, soul music, hip hop, R&B from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. That's the music podcast every Monday and every Friday. If you want to follow me on social media across the board, it's 12 Kyle podcast. If you'd like to contribute to us financially, because we do need money, 12 Kyle on Cash App, $ TWELVEKYLE. Also, we have merch as well. My merch isn't as exclusive as Baylor's, But it's 12 Kyle podcast t-shirts.
Well, we do got a partnership coming up soon, though.
There you go.
That's exclusive. I didn't tell nobody that. And tell Britt to drop the episode. Britt Rowe. Hey, if y'all waiting on my album to come out, I'm just letting y'all know why the album ain't came.
Because he's in negotiations.
Yeah, well, we negotiating right now. Ballerina.
For sure. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for us. So for my boy Baylor, I am your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.